Hey everyone, today's episode of Common Guys is going to look into the Smackdown first night of the draft. Let's go. We'll talk about the draft a little bit later in the video. But first, let's see how Smackdown starts. The true shows come out. The Usos. And, of course, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn come out as well. Again, they remind the Usos. They've dedicated this match to the tribal chief. What happens if they fail? Kevin Owens responds by saying he doesn't care about anything about the tribal chief. He doesn't care about the Usos' flight. He doesn't care about what's going on. All he cares about is wrestling. Let's go. He's ready for this match. But we gotta talk about what's on the line for the Usos. You see, unfortunately, the tribal chief has not contacted the Usos since their loss at WrestleMania. The tribal chief is angry at the Usos. They need to win this title. Why? Because the first draft pick sent Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, and Solo to Smackdown. But guess who was not drafted tonight? The Usos. Things are gonna get hot if these Usos do not win. The first match to kick off SmackDown was L.A. Knight versus Butch. It was a short match. Good to see the crowd is very on board with LA Knight. SmackDown keeps promoting LA Knight. I think WWE has a future rising star with LA Knight. Showed a lot of good wrestling moves throughout the match. Kept up with Butch. Sheamus was ringside. And short and sweet match. LA Knight takes the victory. Now we go backstage to see the Usos getting mentally ready for the match tonight. Paul Heyman is in the locker room with Solo. Paul Heyman basically tells the Usos, it's time to join the Island of Relevancy again if you win tonight. That they can all be together on SmackDown. But they gotta win. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, expects nothing less. Paul Heyman gives one warning to the Usos. Lose tonight and you will be in an ocean of obscurity. While Paul Heyman is laying the smackdown on the Usos verbally, he gives Solo the tape. Tape up your thumb, Solo, because you're going to have to give out some Samoan spikes to help the Usos get the victory, is basically what Paul is saying. Next up, we have the Street Profits versus the LWO and Ricochet and Braun Strowman. Great match. Ultimately, Street Profits were drafted into SmackDown, so great way to establish their dominance on the blue brand. There's one spot that made me laugh. If you remember, a few nights ago, Braun Strowman tried to use Ricochet as a weapon. Ultimately, it backfired. It was a botch, but they kind of played it up tonight. When Braun Strowman suggested using Ricochet again as a weapon, Ricochet kind of stopped him and said, like, hold on, bro. Do you really want to do this again? And Braun Strowman's like, look, this time I got it. The commentators were in on the joke. They were saying, I guess he's practiced a little bit using Ricochet as a weapon. And ultimately, it did go. And I'm going to show you the picture because it is kind of funny. You can tell by Ricochet's face, he's like, I really don't know what's going on, but this is hilarious. Ricochet as a weapon needs to be a thing every time these two go tag team and match up together. It's hilarious. But ultimately, the Street Profits do get the victory here. Now, for the biggest surprise of the night, AJ Styles has returned with the OC. Great to see AJ Styles back. Honestly, missed him. He's recovered from the injury. He looks great, looks ready to go, looks in shape. Can't wait to see what he does with the OC, especially since WWE has been more and more going into factions type of wrestling, so AJ Styles is going to be a dominant figure. He was interrupted by the Viking Raiders, but he didn't fight in this match. He let the OC do the fighting. It was a quick match. Viking Raiders were defeated. Happy to see that AJ Styles and the OC are on SmackDown. The man is blue brand. The man deserves to always be on the blue brand. That's his home. Next up, we have the match of Selena Vega versus Sonya Deville with Chelsea Green on the side of the ring. Sonya Deville and her heel tactics tries to get the upper hand real quick on this match, kind of showing that she's not ready for Rhea Ripley. Selena Vega ultimately gets the upper hand, and through a surprise roll-up, gets Sonya Deville the 1-2-3 count. But the match isn't over yet, because guess who comes out? Mommy gets a surprise attack. Mommy Rhea Ripley knocks down Sonya Deville. Chelsea Green cowers, and ultimately she has her eyes set on Selena Vega. Selena Vega is very much in trouble. She gets the riptide, and as she goes to put Selena Vega up in the air, Selena reverses and gets a DDT on Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley is left in utter shock that she just suffered a DDT and Selena Vega is on the run. Ooh, if the spice is hot for Backlash, it just got hotter because Rhea Ripley is out for blood. And for the final match of the night, the Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. First off, Solo did not accompany them out tonight. He was told to stay back in the locker room by yours truly, the Tribal Chief. The match hadn't even started, and the Usos were out for blood and on the attack. They did not care. The bell doesn't need to ring because the Usos have one mission in mind: take care of the Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens problem. And what an attack and onslaught it was. Knocking out Sami Zayn right away and making sure Kevin Owens would take a beating of a lifetime. Eventually, things will start going Sami and Kevin Owens' way. You see, as Kevin Owens was left solo in the ring, he was able to knock Jimmy into the post and get the tag for Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn comes in and throws both Usos out of the ring. In an incredible fashion, Sami Zayn throws himself over the top rope and lands on both of them, thus changing the momentum and the tide of the battle. Sami does a sunset flip and power bomb and blue thunder, trying to get that victory. Ultimately, there's a kick out and the match continues. But somebody else is watching. And somebody is getting angrier and angrier. Let's go backstage. The Tribal Chief makes the call. Paul Heyman delivers the message to Solo. It's time to go out there. It's your night. Solo, help bring the Usos home. Bring the title back. It's time to end the Sami and KO problem. As Solo comes out, he's attacked by Matt Riddle, but it doesn't matter. Just his music is enough to distract Sami and Kevin Owens and allow the Usos to take advantage. They delivered super kick after super kick on KO. KO gets brutalized during this moment. With no help coming, it's only a matter of time before one of these two men will fall, or so we think. There's a lot more fight to KO and Sami Zayn. Despite all the super kicks given to Kevin Owens, he won't tap. He won't quit. And the Usos are very much in trouble. Kevin's won't quit attitude allows him to tag in Sami Zayn, which delivers the Halua kick. 1, 2, 3. These men have retained. These men are undisputed tag team champions still. And the Usos, well, a fear I have never seen from Jay and Jimmy. The ocean of obscurity. The ocean of obscurity that is ringing through their head. Clear as day. The island of relevancy has ended for them. What awaits them is a tribal chief that's going to be angry. Solo was able to accomplish the mission. What's left is wait and see, because now the Usos have yet to be drafted and they have one angry tribal chief. SmackDown's draft tonight was the Bloodline. Bianca Belair, which is going to have to change titles with Rhea Ripley since Rhea has the women's SmackDown title. Street Profits, Edge, the OC, Damage Control, Alba Fire, and Isla Dawn. I think these are great keeps and additions to SmackDown. Bianca Belair will have a new roster of women to go through. The Street Profits definitely will get a boost because SmackDown will be able to offer them more opponents for team matches, especially that the Bloodline is there. And Damage Control, I think, is going to shake it up a little bit. They were stalling a little bit on Raw. And Edge being here, maybe we can have a Roman Reigns Edge rematch fight. It should be an interesting time for SmackDown. As for Raw, well, they retained Cody Rhodes, retained Becky Lynch. The biggest surprise of the night was watching Imperium go to Raw. Matt Riddle staying on Raw. Drew McIntyre is going to be an interesting choice on Raw. The Miz, Shinsuke Nakamura, that's going to make him more competitive. I think Raw has a great talented roster. Shinsuke can really grow in. And Indy Hartwell is a great choice for the women's division. So, what do I think about Imperium being on Raw? Well, I think it's time the Intercontinental title gets dropped and maybe Imperium can go after the heavyweight title. I think this is going to be great if Cody Rhodes can have that match with Gunther. I think they're going to make magic. Also, Cody Rhodes up against Drew McIntyre, if he goes heel, would be an interesting choice for sure. There's a lot to work with. I think the draft night was a success. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and comment in the section down below. And let me know who you liked most from the draft.